And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thomson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, hello to everyone. It is our midweek edition of the Weighing In podcast. We've got all kinds of fights coming up. You've got Eagle FC, the PFL, UFC, and Bellator. So it is a week with a plethora of fights, just exactly the way we want to see it. Right, Josh Thomson?
You are correct. It is correct. It is correct. Cousin, it is correct. Absolutely.
I need to grow my hair a little longer.
There's a ton of talk about, but John, we got to get right down to the nitty gritty. I've got to come out and say, hey, I did some research. I talked about some things.
Hold it. Stop. You did research?
No, I didn't. I just read the comments.
Dominic Cruz is going to be very happy someone did research.
Oh, jeez.
It must be that AKA affiliation. I don't know.
No, what it is that it comes down like on the other night. I said some stuff about Izzy, about his contract being left from Paradigm. I was incorrect, and I had right after the show. It was bothering me. There was something I should have actually had Dave pull up right on the spot if I wasn't sure. I thought I had seen it somewhere that he had left, and he had not left Paradigm. He was still with them. It's an opportunity. It was something that I had said that I need to make sure I need to verify. Look, I'm not a journalist, and I never claimed to be. Okay, John, you and I have made it very specific that we are not those things. Because if I was a journalist, I would actually wrote this apology on the back page and put it on some obscure page that no one would ever listen to or watch. So I'm doing this at the beginning of the show to make sure that everyone understands. Look, I made a mistake. I apologize. I'm not doing Paradigm any justice because it's a lot of hard work in this day and age for managers to get deals done. Okay. And it's for the fighters to be happy with what's going on. It's really hard for them to deal with not just the UFC, but to deal with Bellator, to deal with PFL. It's hard because they know that there's not much wiggle room in terms of the amount of money those fighters can make. Izzy got a good contract. His management did a good job. It was my fault. I apologize. For saying something that I should have verified right there on the spot. Should have had Dave pull it up. I should have actually went through it all. And that's something that I got to make sure that is said in the beginning of the show, because that is not who I am. And I can admit when I'm wrong. And I think it's fair for me to come out and do this in the beginning of the show to make sure that everyone understands, hey, I dropped the ball. I made a mistake. And that's who I am as a person. John, you know that. I'm not someone that is afraid to admit when I'm wrong. I'm not wrong very often, as you know, John, but
oh, okay. Oh,
but
I just got hit by something there.
Oh, yeah. But hey, that's the great thing about me is I can roll with the punches, and I understand that, hey, sometimes if you talk on a mic long enough, you're going to be wrong. And several people are figuring that out, in this day and age on these microphones and doing podcasts. All right. Look, and what it just comes down to is I want to make sure that Paradigm got their due. They did a great job for Izzy. Izzy got the contract that he wanted. And I tip my hat to them, especially in this type of industry, to get that type of money and to do exactly what management is supposed to be doing for their fighters. That being said,
here it comes.
That being said, my man Adi, we have sat for a second. We've talked. We've had coffee together. We've had conversations. My man, DMs work both ways. Just hit me up. Okay, I'm an easygoing guy. Just hit me up. We've talked. I got a lot of respect for you because, like I said, in this industry, it's very hard. So now that I know you know how to use DM me, okay? I appreciate that. Got a lot of love for what you're doing. It's really hard to keep top talent happy, and you do a great job at that. And so continue doing what you're doing. But I'm free, brother. Hit me up. All right, let's move on. I had to poke a little fun. But I got a lot of love and respect for him, man, based off the fact that, like I said, it is hard to keep top talent happy, especially as many as he has on his roster. He's built a good organization in terms of Paradigm, and he's got a lot of top talent signed with them. And so, good for him and continue to do.
You got to figure that obviously Connor and Izzy are the two top paid guys in the UFC. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Chris Cyborg got her the biggest contract for a woman fighter. Pretty impressive. Doing a good job.
No, he is.
Got to give him credit. Got to give credit where it's due. But let's move on to the good stuff.
Okay.
Come on. We got fights.
All right, well, let's talk. We'll talk Eagle FC first. John, you and I both know we don't know a ton of these guys.
We don't know a ton of the guys.
we don't really know any of them. Go to mybookie.ag. Check out those betting lines. I'm telling you right now, if you guys use that promo code, weighing in, there is a QR code right there, which Podcast Dave is going to put up. You guys use that QR code, and that will take you to our mybookie.ag with our promo code, weighing in. Get a little extra spending cash. You guys can bet on that Super Bowl. Also, if you guys did some bets that we talked about for the pay-per-view, for the UFC pay-per-view, hopefully you guys didn't listen to me because I was horrible last night. I think I went 0-3 with all of them, but there was some great fights last night. Absolutely amazing fights. But hopefully you guys were able to cash in on a couple things that you guys decided to go on your own. But go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. I want to thank you guys for supporting us and supporting mybookie.ag.
This is bad because I used to know these guys because I was going to Russia so much and doing fights there and everything. And I don't know either one of the guys that is the main event. That really sucks.
Well, what you have to remember, though, what people need to remember is that, like, we have to talk all these fights, but we're also doing a ton of research for Bellator on the fights that are coming up. We're doing side stuff for them as well, but then doing the stuff for the UFC. Even those guys, there's tons of guys that are like in the, what was it? Not the first pay-per-view. Was it the first pay-per-view they had? They had 11 guys making their debut. That's research that you have to do on fighters that you've never seen on a major platform. And so having to do that research on them. And I know, even though we don't consider ourselves journalists, we're basically just people that have been ingrained in the sport for over 20 years, that we know a lot about this. But then when you also are trying to figure out who these fighters are, where they came from, now with the way that a lot of these promotions are doing is they're pulling their stuff off YouTube and off Tapology, off these other places where you can try to find them, MMA Hardcore, all these other places where you can try to find their fights. And you can't find them because they want to put them in their library on their own website or their own thing, and it's hard to find them on there without paying some sort of subscription. You're like, I'm just trying to do research on these guys, so that's the hardest part. Russia provides some of the best talent.
Are you saying you don't want to pay for the UFC Fight Pass?
No, I don't want to.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to pay that.
I get charged for every little damn thing. I swear, it's insane. And you do too. I know you.
I appreciate this podcast because, this is because of this podcast, it's a write-off for me.
Yeah.
It's a tax write-off. All the pay-per-views are tax write-offs, so I feel like it doesn't matter how many I throw out there. I keep on telling my wife because she tries to limit me to 2. She's okay with all the UFC ones. When it gets to boxing ones, she gets a little mad at me. Just a little mad.
Yeah, but the boxing ones got to be the top-notch ones. I'm not trying to watch all the boxing ones. I'm trying to watch, the Canelos and the Tyson Furies. And that's what I'm trying to watch. Don't get me wrong. There's some very talented boxers.
Great. Come on. Wait. If you got Crawford in there or something like that, I got to watch.
Come on. I still think he's the best boxer right now.
Right now?
Yeah, I think he's the best boxer right now. But
phenomenal.
That's for another time. All right,
you're gonna get a ton of Canelo haters right there.
I love Canelo. I love him, but phenomenal. I think Terrence is the best boxer. Hey, just scroll down. So I'm not even gonna try to butcher these guys' names, but I'm really just gonna be honest. All I want to say is I wish Eagle FC the best of luck on their show this weekend. I don't know either one of these fighters.
Either do I. I'm being honest.
But they're good.
I don't even want to say their names because this is where you have to practice to say.
Yeah.
I will screw this up. I'm going to say it's ZA against BA.
Yeah. But if look, if Khabib and his crew of guys decided this would be a good main event, it's probably going to end up being one of the best fights of the night. It should be the best fight of the night, but it is going to be one of those action-packed fights. And these two are very talented fighters. If they've decided to put them in the main event, I think this show's in Moscow, Russia. Yeah, so it's in Russia, it's in Moscow. And it should be a good fight. I would imagine if he's going to put this as a main event, it should be probably extremely good fight with a lot of good skills between the two of them. All right, let's move on. Look, and the PFL throughout this Challenger Series, John, they have reminiscence of what Strikeforce used to do.
Very much.
And I gotta tell you, I kind of like it. It kind of bothers me that Bellator didn't start doing this already. Because there's a lot of
the UFC is doing it. They're just calling it the Dana White
Contender Series. Yeah.
And which is a smart thing.
You got to remember, basically, Strikeforce did all this stuff already. They were doing these events.
Oh, yeah. It was called the Challenger Series.
It was called the Challenger Series. And it was a great, like, I got to tell you, like, DC, I think, fought there. I know Luke Rockhold fought there several times. Trevor Prangley main evented it a couple times because they always had like a top talent that was kind of in that would main event it, but then they always had their up and comers, you know. But I mean, it would be nice if we started doing this. I would love to see Showtime and not NBC, but Showtime, CBS Sports, and CBS all get together and start doing like a Challenger series. Put the Challenger series on CBS Sports.
CBS Sports, absolutely.
You know, and then put obviously. I'd like to have more shows on actual, you know, big time CBS. Hopefully that comes to fruition. But I mean, Showtime overall, and then you've got, it would be nice. But to talk about PFL, scroll down there, buddy. Mohamed Juma versus Joshua Silveira, and then you've got Alexander Popek. Popek, is that how you know?
Popek.
Yeah, versus Taylor Johnson, who we know pretty well. Had Taylor fight several times.
Popek lost to Jamal Hill, who will be the UFC's headliner for their fight night. Yeah. He lost to Josh Hill in that Dana White's Contender Series. So he's a good fighter. That's a good matchup between him. He's not the wrestler that Taylor Johnson is, and so that's going to be an interesting.
Does he have leg lock defense? That's the key. Does he have leg lock defense?
Hello, good call, because Taylor Johnson's leg locks are freaking on point. The guy is quick with it. A lot of studying with Dean Lister and Jocko Willink down in San Diego and stuff. But Josh Silveira, let's go back to that. I'm sorry, we went past the main event. Main event of it. Josh Silveira is out of American Top Team, and this guy can fight. He's good in the stand-up. His ground game is good. I've watched Mohamed Juma fight before. He's real strong, very tough. He comes out of the I want to say EFC is where he's been fighting before, but man, he's a gamer. I don't know if he's got the technical skill to stay with Josh though. Silveira is very good, and you got to give it to him. He's undefeated at this point in his career. This is a good thing for him. It's going to put more pressure on him being that main event, even though I think the card's only, 4 fights?
4 fights.
I think that's all they have, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that because they're probably not going to be doing it with a crowd or something. It's just for like a TV thing. And, hey, this is your chance to prove to the PFL you belong there and that you're somebody that they want to put into their tournament. So this is a good opportunity for everybody in it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joshua just because I really like the name. So Joshua's going to be – he's obviously a stud. I mean, there's not a lot of Joshuas out there. So, I mean, I understand when you make it this far, you're an actual stud.
Yeah. You're saying you got to be someone to be a Josh. That's
true. This is very true. Yep. What's going on right now there, bud?
Sorry.
Did I just see what I just saw?
I was trying to just close an app that was slowing it down, I think.
I won't read out what I just said. It was it said like browsers and Pornhub is what it said.
Nice.
Yeah, give a little shout out to those groups right there because I know Podcast Dave is a frequent visitor.
I don't know what Podcast Dave is watching while he's supposedly working, but whatever.
Oh man. Well, maybe he needs to go get the VPN that we have that sponsors us. It hides all your material.
Well, Josh, it was actually a PowerPoint presentation because, unlike you, I am sophisticated.
It's so great. All right, well, hey, make sure you guys tune in.
Mohamed Juma, I watched it because Mark Goddard was talking. He was at UAE, the show that they have in the United Arab Emirates.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he was. I don't know if he fought for the title there, but UAE Warriors. That's where he was from.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, he's tough. For them to put him in the main event, he's got to be pretty good.
He's tough. He will fight. I just skill wise, one guy's got just more technical skill right now.
You know what I like right now is a lot of the smaller shows are kind of making a little bit of a run. I'm not saying they're catching the UFC. No one's saying that. All right, but what I'm saying is that it's nice to see that there's a lot of promotions out there right now that are willing to give these fighters a chance and opportunity. If these smaller shows are not around, you know, or just period, if these other shows, and look, and when I say smaller, I remember people used to just clamor for anything that would be on TV regarding MMA. And then now you've got a bunch of different shows that you can just download an app and watch on, or you can watch on, you just flip your TV on. I mean, you've got the PFL, Eagle FC, you've got Bellator, you've got UFC, you've got one.
LFA.
LFA. You know, you've got
so
all
many
these
things.
the LFA produces a ton of top talent.
Ton of talent.
Ton of good guys.
If you want to say what show
Yeah.
on the, because look at there's, when you're talking about levels, grassroots is what I call.
Yeah.
That's the show that's going to be in your hometown kind of thing most of the time.
Yeah.
They keep coming back and, you see them, always putting on fights. That's a grassroots. Then you get regionals, which will move in certain areas, but kind of have better talent, bigger names a little bit. Sometimes we'll bring a guy that's, a guy from the past from Bellator, the UFC or PFL, and that'll be their main event guy. And the LFA is the king of the regionals. They put out more talent.
Yeah.
The UFC, Bellator signs more people off of the LFA roster than any other regional promotion out there.
Which is strange because you would think that it would sign more probably out of, what's the other one in Russia? ACA? Or is it
ACA?
ACB?
No?
Is it called ACB?
Used to be
now?
ACB. Now
Used
it's
to be
ACA.
ACB, right? Now it's ACA. Yeah, you would think that they would sign a lot more out of there. I think some of the from what I've heard, okay, is that some of the issues with signing a lot of the fighters out of there is that some of them have visa problems, and so
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that you can get them here to make sure that they fight, and that ends up being a problem. Like you don't want to bank on them being able to get here every show. You got to bring them out a couple weeks early. So
It's expensive.
it is. It's not.
Let's
cheap.
be honest. It's expensive for a lot of reasons. If you're
Yeah.
going to get someone from the ACA, you're probably going to have to pay the promotion.
Yeah.
That's just, I hate, that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to pay the promotion. You have visa issues with the fighters themselves, as far as sometimes the U.S. doesn't want to allow people into this country at times and stuff. And so you can't get them in for their fight now. So that's a problem. The other thing is there's a language barrier where you're trying to sell this person to a fan base that they don't speak the same language. So it's a hard sell at times. It's a hard push. So there's a lot going on there. It's not that those fighters aren't great. They're great fighters.
Yeah.
They got some top talent there. But the LFA pulls guys from all over the world. A lot of Brazilians come into LFA. You got a lot of North Americans. You get people from Russia at times, but it's a variety, and by far, and that's Eddie Soros is the guy that runs LFA, and he's done a fantastic job with that promotion. This is a guy that went from managing to now he and a guy named George are the ones that are in charge of LFA, and he's doing a great job with them and putting out a lot of
Did you
talent.
just call him Eddie? Man, you guys down like that? You guys are cool, close friends like that? I still call him Ed.
Oh, excuse me. Well, I think Ed is an abbreviation of Eddie, so that's even more.
But that's like me saying Johnny. Yo,
Okay,
Johnny. Like
okay,
John?
so I'll say Mr. Ed Soros.
That's funny. I was like, man, damn, you got it like that with Ed? All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling. I'm not gonna start calling him Eddie though. Just not. I won't disrespect the man like that. Maybe you guys are close and all, but anyways. All right. Well, let's get into the UFC as well.
All right.
So we would actually have Bellator on the card first.
Okay.
On the agenda first. So
right.
Bellator
Do it.
274.
They're both on Saturday night, correct?
They both are on Saturday night.
They're
correct?
both on Saturday night. John, this fight to me is, and I'm saying this because stylistically, it's a very dangerous fight for Logan Storley.
Yeah, it is.
He's gonna have to sprawl and brawl, but then now with go ahead. Now that Neiman Gracie's training at King's MMA, I don't know if sprawl and brawl is gonna be the answer either. It's a tough fight for Logan, and Logan's a stud. I looked at his fight with Dante Churro, and it just wasn't the type of performance that he needed. Now, granted, he was fighting kind of in his hometown there in Sioux Falls, and it just was maybe a little bit more pressure, main event. I mean, I know he's fought there before, but it's like there was a lot more, I think, riding on that because I think he was coming off that loss to Amosov, who is now the champion. He had a lot of things. Fighters start questioning themselves on like, are things working for me after their first loss or after every loss? And what adjustments, what changes does he need? But he needs to have some stand up in this fight if he's gonna get the win against this, because taking Neiman down, Neiman's one. I think and I've said this before. To me, he's the best Gracie that's ever fought. I'm not knocking the ones that came before him, but he's the best Gracie. He's the best Gracie and the most well-rounded Gracie that's ever fought. and he deserves his due. And people just kind of look past him because, oh, he's a Gracie, but it's just the name. It's this. He's not what he's not. No, he's good. He's good. Like look, there's a lot of guys that John Fitch has fought, but no one's controlled the situation as well as he did against John Fitch. Now, John Fitch was also older, but John Fitch is also, he'd been subbed, I think, twice in his career, once by Paul Harris and once by Josh Berkman. Mm-hmm. Those submissions, I mean, like with the Berkman one, I think he thought he could get out and just, but with the Paulo Harris one, he just got legit caught. Neiman Gracie caught him legit as well in the leg lock / heel hook, I guess you want to call it, but it was more of a knee bar. Yep. But overall, just a great fight. He is someone who is well-rounded. Now, to say that Logan is as good at defending submissions as John Fitch, I'm going to have a hard time saying that.
Don't know about that.
I'm not saying that because John's my boy. I'm just saying that because it's going to be hard for Logan. He's going to have to be backing out of that guard a lot, backing out of those attacks a lot, back up to his feet. And his re-entry, if he decides to go back into the ground and pound position, he's going to end up putting him in jeopardy as well. So it's a kind of a catch-22. Do I stand up and back out, let him back on his feet, or do I go back into his guard and play with that type of fire? It's a tough fight. I'm a big fan of Logan. I love everything he's doing. I don't know. Neiman right now to me seems like he's on another level, and I'm not taking anything away from Logan. I think he's a stud. I'm looking at what Neiman's been doing, John, and it's impressive.
Super impressive. I mean, I said it long ago. He is the very best I've seen from the Gracie family as far as fighting, as far as the whole game. He's got a good stand-up game now. His ground game is phenomenal as far as he attacks the whole body too. He doesn't just go after a lot of the upper body stuff that some guys go after. He goes after the legs, and he's good with the legs. It's not like he's going to go for an ankle lock, he's going to go for a heel hook, and his legs aren't in the right. He controls things so well, and it all comes from, where he was training, the Danaher death squad and all the leg lock attacks that they did. Phenomenal. But if you're Logan Sterling, and I'm looking at this fight because, I went back and watched all these fights that both of them had. You can't change who you are, Josh. Yeah. If you try to change who you are, that's going to be a problem. You've got to be you. And Logan is very good at, if he gets the fight where he wants it, which he always does at some point, he's very good at squaring up and keeping himself safe from those attacks. Guys will try to do them. The one guy that gave him problems as far as didn't put him into danger, but Dante Sciro was able to always get himself out of Logan's side control. He was able to get back to half guard. He was able to get back to guard, and Logan would have to then work to get past it again. I think, he's going to have the same problem with Neiman. Neiman's going to be able to get himself out of those positions. It's a matter of how much damage can Logan do. Logan will start to slow down as far as his offense in his ability to control you. And if he's just going to be into control situations with Gracie, that's going to be a problem because that's what Gracie wants. He wants it to be where, I'm on my back, but I'm the one leading the dance here. I'm not being damaged. I'm the one being offensive. I'm the one putting you on the defense. He's got to create those opportunities to be an offensive fighter on the ground at times, because in the stand-up, he's facing a guy that he's got a guy in front of him that can throw down and has power in his hands. So this is not one of those ones, I'm going to use my wrestling just to keep it on my feet. That might not be the answer for you. You need to be who you are. Take him down, get back up at times, that's fine, but you always need to be having him guessing what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think this sets the stage, though, for Neiman. Neiman's been chasing for that title shot, but there's a guy in front of him, though, in Jason Jackson, that's going to deserve it sooner. So this whole backup kind of in the division right now is with the holdup because Amosov, had a baby and won the title and then had a baby, and now he's out there training, I think, in Thailand at Tiger Muay Thai. He's still out there. He'll be ready to go, though. He's fighting MVP after that fight. It was just a line of people that are that are having success.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
You have MVP, and then next after MVP is going to be Jason Jackson, and then Jason Jackson, and then basically Neiman Gracie. But there's going to be fights in between there. They're going to have to
unless
fight.
Logan Sterling takes that opportunity away.
That's true. Yes, that's very true. But I don't think that Logan's going to jump the line either. I mean, I think you still have Jason Jackson who's going to be next. I can't imagine him not. He's beaten Neiman. It was a very controversial way that things were handled. but he's beaten Neiman. You know, I'd like to maybe see a rematch in that fight. If that's the case, if he does get past Logan, to see who fights, you know, the winner of MVP and Amosov. But I don't know. That division to me, and because you've got the next guy we're going to talk about is Korshkov. He's another guy that could throw a wrench into a lot of this stuff. You know, you put him against Jason Jackson. You put him against someone like Neiman.
Put him against anybody.
Any of those guys. He's a stud. His losses have been to Douglas Lima.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Douglas Lima. Early in his career, he lost to Ben Askren.
Yeah.
You know, because at the time Bellator had the tournament and stuff. And so he was a young fighter, and he ends up getting just, 5-round mauled, I think, by Ben. But I don't think Ben finished him. But, yeah, him and Douglas Lima, that's really the guys that have given Korshkov problems. And Korshkov has the one win against Douglas Lima. But Korshkov is a beast. The guy can wrestle. His stand-up is freaking good. He's quick. He's accurate. He's got the full package, but he does have a very good fighter, and I really enjoy watching Chance Racontre fight. Chance he's a volume guy. He comes in and out. He pushes the pace on you a lot. He doesn't back down. He's fun to watch.
John, say his last name again for me.
Racontre. Or some people will say Recounter.
Yeah, Recounter. I heard Jim. It was so funny. I heard Chael try to say it. I don't even know if he didn't even say the right freaking. It was nothing. It was, I don't know. He called him Recount. I think it was Recount. We're
gonna recount that.
I think Jimmy Smith called him Recounter. I think he's what he called him. Yeah, it was just funny. This was what, 4 years ago when he was in Bellator. It was like 4 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Bellator. He went to the UFC. He had some good fights there. He had a couple wins, a couple losses, but he's good. And he will fight his ass off. He's fun to watch. So this is actually, when you look at body types and everything, this is a great matchup. This should be a very interesting fight. And I know what you're saying, and I give
you know exactly what I'm saying, John.
I agree with you. I think Korshkov is absolutely the guy who is favored to win this, but Racontre can give him problems at times.
Damn, I just fell out of my seat almost laughing. I mean, Korshkov's I think he's just better all the way around, John. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it like you. Okay? I love you to death. You're trying to make it something it's not. I love you. I love you for it. Look, Korshkov is he's got great wrestling, great takedown defense, great takedowns himself. He's super big for the weight. I mean, he's tall, long, lanky. He possesses power. Things come from different angles. His spinning kicks, his back kicks, his everything you can think of. He throws spinning back fist, flying knees. I mean, he is just the full package.
Yep.
When we talk about fighters who sometimes just don't get the name recognition that they deserve, he's one of those guys. His losses, the reason why I don't think he gets it is because, he ended up dropping 2 to Lima, and now Lima's no longer the champion anymore, but he kind of got overshadowed by Lima during that era. And he's so talented, though. I put him against someone like Jason Jackson. I think you probably have a phenomenal fight. I think that fight right there probably stills the fight card, the way that they fight. Jason Jackson, the ass-kicking machine, he's someone that's just going to walk you down and just try to just pick you apart, that push kick. I would love to see that fight. I'm surprised we haven't seen that fight already. But that being said, Korshkov is that guy. Now, Chance, Racontre or whatever, I'm going to have to get that down before we get on TV. But I think he's good. He's got some slick submissions, but he's got to get the fight to the ground. I don't know if he has the power to do that. On the feet, like you said, he's a stick and move, trying to wait for you to overcommit. He's a volume guy, doesn't possess a lot of power, and that's not the kind of person you want to fight in someone like with Korshkov.
You got to have Korshkov respect you, and if he doesn't, he just walks through you.
Yeah, he just walks you down and just does whatever the hell he wants, and that's going to be the problem. One of my good buddies and one of my former training partners, Adam Piccolotti, making his comeback. He's had a lot of time off. He had his last fight when he lost to Sydney Outlaw, tore his ACL, tore his MCL, tore both of them in that fight. And then right when he was making his comeback, I think he was like a week or two out, he broke his collarbone. And so he ended up having surgery on that as well. Now he's back. He's fighting Karahanyan. Georgie's tough, man. Georgie is. He's better at 155.
He's better at 155. Yes,
Thank
there you go.
There you
Look
go.
at that, Jinx. That's true.
Well, great minds think alike, and I'm the greater mind, so you think just like me, and I love it. That steel trap is not that steel trap anymore. I think it's kind of leaking a little bit. I'm glad. I'm
having a hard time breathing here.
Well, like I told you earlier in the show, I'm very rarely wrong, and you guys just got to learn to stay on track.
I remember that
here.
part.
Yes.
I remember that part.
But to me, look, Georgie poses a lot of threats. He's not going to be easy for Adam to take down. And on the feet, I think Georgie possesses more power. So on the feet, I'm going to give Georgie the potential of the knockout, and on the ground, I'm going to give it more to Adam. Adam is more of the scrambler, though. Georgie, when he uses his grappling, will use more of his strength. Adam is very good, and we saw that with the Sydney Outlaw. That looked like two ferrets just getting after it on the ground, and Sydney Outlaw is a strong individual. And so when the two of them got after it, it was a really good fight, and the scrambling was definitely key in those situations. I don't know if Georgie can scramble with Adam Piccolotti once they hit the ground. And the submissions and the style of which Adam can fight on the ground with his jiu-jitsu, I think is a little bit better than Georgie's. Now, like I said, Georgie on the feet, I think he has the better. He's more composed. Power. He possesses more power, and he will walk him down, try to walk Adam down, and land the big shot and sprawl and brawl. That's the way I think I see that fight going. Now, what the hell do I know? It could be a different way, John. It could be a different way. But remember, at the end of the day, I'm always right.
Oh, okay. I'll remember that. Yeah, so this is it's a quality matchup. Both guys black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Both guys are really good on the ground. They do approach the ground differently. Piccolotti is a lot slicker. He does a lot of different attacks that aren't what we call the basics of what you're going for. He will switch off into different positions that most guys won't, based upon his belief in himself. So he is a different level as far as his ground ability, I believe. On the feet, he's got the ability to stay with Georgie as far as technique and volume. I think he's actually better. But he does have to be careful of the right hand of Georgie. Georgie does have power in his right hand. He sets it up well. So very good matchup. One that I think in the end, either guy can win. I do like Georgie at 155 pounds compared to the 145. I thought he was losing too much weight, and Piccolotti's always been at the lightweight. So it's a great matchup. Talking about power, though, Davion Franklin. Davion Franklin is a beast when it comes to power. But he throws so hard, he's almost Derek Lewis-like in his power ability. He is. When you talk about the power that he can generate when he throws and the speed that he does it with as a big guy, it's impressive. But he's going against the guy that I call the sleeper. He's going against Said Soma, a guy that looks like he doesn't want to be there, even though he does. He loves fighting, but he comes from a swimming background. Very good cardio for a heavyweight. Does not get tired. Can push the pace, and is defensively very good. Very tough to get rid of, and he's just a good fighter. Comes from American Top Team, man. I'm telling you, the guy can fight. And I look at this, and he's got to be very careful in the first round. But if you've watched Davion's fights, the one drawback on Davion is he throws so hard. He's very Derek Lewis-like in that he does get tired. And when he gets tired, you're going to see, Said Soma just come on like a tidal wave and just run him over if he allows that to happen. He's got to be very relaxed, very calm in this, not try to just take Said's head off, be composed, be technical, and make it a fight to where you're not burning gas for no reason.
Yeah, Soma looks like when he walks out there, like he's already had a Soma muscle relaxer. He's one of those guys. Doesn't look like he looks like Fedor. I don't really want to be.
Okay,
Looks like he rolled right out of bed. His hair's all jacked up. There's not, like nothing. He just looks a mess. Anyways, he gets out there and he just systematically starts picking you apart slowly. Yep. Leg kicks. Combinations. Just touch, sprawl. He'll sprawl and brawl. He'll get a takedown. He will mix it up to have you guess, where he wants to fight. But in his last fight, when he fought Minikov, who's the former Bellator champion, he was just piecing him up. He was beating him to the punch, and the leg kicks played a huge factor in that fight, John. Yeah. And I think in this fight, if a couple hard leg kicks, especially midway through the first round, is going to start to slow Davion Franklin down. You hit it right on the head when you said Derek Lewis-esque. Okay, I was going to basically say Derek Lewis 2.0 kind of position. Yeah. Like he's got a little bit more. I feel like he's got a little bit more athleticism than Derek Lewis. But when it comes down to it, I think he's a little bit faster than Derek Lewis. Maybe he doesn't hit quite as hard as Derek Lewis, but it's right up there.
No, it's up there.
It's up there. But the thing with Derek Lewis, though, Derek Lewis has learned over the years kind of how to pace himself.
Yes.
Davion Franklin, he's 4-0.
Exactly
he's 4-0. So he hasn't learned much right now in terms of how to get through the hard part of these fights. He's going to have to learn how to pace himself in this fight because someone will be there. He will be there. He'll still be relaxing in the third round off that muscle relaxer. And he'll just be chilling going, hey, man, I'm here. I'm here when you're ready. And if he gets in there, I think into this second round, if Davion Franklin ends up getting in the second round, you should start looking to see Soma maybe start to take over with some different combinations, making him wrestle a little bit more, tire out those arms, close that gap because you don't want to be in that. You don't want to be
all the way in or all the way out.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you got to be in that phone booth. You want to be fighting him right there, touching, chest to chest. You're just wrestling him and taking him, making him use his arms and his legs to defend. You get outside that range at the end of his punch, and it could be lights out real quick. So it's going to come down to the fight IQ of Soma and how he fights his fight. But I'm going to lean towards Soma only based on the fact that he's got a little bit more experience, and I think his style is going to come in. Is going to be very effective, especially as the fight goes on.
Yeah, the longer the fight goes, the more it goes towards Syed Soma.
Yeah.
But good way to start the card off. Interesting fight, interesting heavyweight matchup. One that it could end in the first 10 seconds of the fight. If Franklin lands the shot, I don't care who you are, he's going to put you out. He's got that kind of power, so it'll be fun to watch. Anything on the prelims that you want to go over?
Yes.
We got Mandel Nalo against Nick Brown is a great fight, but we got to talk about Brendan Ward.
Yep. Yeah. Look, I'm just happy. I'm happy that he has. Look, if you guys have watched any footage on him, you guys tune into Bellator on Saturday night, you guys will see they've done a segment on him that is just absolutely incredible. You guys got to watch that, and you just.
Well, I'm glad you've seen it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little higher profile name, so I get all the insights.
Got it. There you go. Okay.
No, it shows where he's been, where he's come from, where he's at now in his life. And people need to understand how difficult it is just to be a fighter. And a lot of these fighters, they come from broken homes. And it just, the life that they have lived beforehand and being able to still drive and push and what you've got to do to be the best or want to be the best or to be successful, just period. Not even being the best, just being successful. It's extremely difficult. And in the fight game, it's all on you. You can say like, oh, my coaches didn't work with me this or my coaches did that. But guess what? At the end of the day, it's only you in there. And to be honest, Brendan Ward's taken full responsibility for his past actions. He is now back. He's focused. And I have a lot of admiration for someone that can admit when his faults were taking place. He's went back and tried to fix them, right the wrongs and everything he's done in his life. He is now back in the Bellator cage. And an opportunity to basically start striving back towards a title shot or back towards just making sure that he's righting this wrong, getting his life back on track and the career that he likes to do. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's back.
Yeah, I can't remember what website they actually did a whole story on him, and it was really done well. And it talked about his addiction problem and what he's gone through and how he was he was having addiction problems while he was at fights. And I can tell you, I did a lot of Brendan Ward his fights. The guy is a hell of an athlete. He's fast. He's strong. He's got good wrestling. He's got good hands, power. He can knock anybody out. This is a guy that he could have been someone back when we, were watching him. It was just, he would always end up losing that fight that he needed to get past. And it was based upon, man, he wasn't whole. And so, he's got a little girl. He's doing well. He's in the gym. Hopefully he can just start anew. He's got a record of 14-6 or something like that. He had a couple of he had a big, knockout loss to Paul Daly, that flying knee that he got hit with and stuff. But man, the guy can fight and he can be a guy at the top. Because the first fight I ever did he fought for the championship in Bellator. He fought, the Storm, Shlemenko. And he was doing well in the first round, but he was burning a ton of energy going after Slamenko. And Slamenko's a great fighter, veteran, tough as hell, and he was able to take over the fight. But he was so young at that time. I told him, I remember telling him at the time, hey, don't worry about it. You're going to be back here. You got a ton of talent. Just keep improving. I didn't know all the problems he had, and I've reffed him multiple times since then, and then I knew when he was gone. So this guy's got a great story. I hope that this is the start of something new for him, and I hope he's back in the Bellator cage often, because in the Northeast, in that area of Massachusetts, Connecticut, this guy is king. You talk about someone that puts butts in the seats and stuff. Mm-hmm. People come out to see Brennan. Everyone knows who he is, and they all believe in him. And God bless him. I'm glad he's back. I hope he has a fantastic fight and shows everyone what he's made of.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. There was another fight on here that I want to kind of vent about a little bit, because it was the Deanna Bennett and Justine Kish fight. Yeah. I have Deanna Bennett being ranked in Bellator. Justine Kish, I believe she was ranked when she left. She's coming over from the UFC. I believe she was ranked. I don't know how you would pull that up right now, because I'm sure it's taken off.
If you could.
Yeah, but people have told me that she was ranked before, basically when she left, or when she decided to sign with Bellator and she left. Possibly. So if that's the case, how is this fight not closer to the main card? Can you give me some reasons there, John?
I'm being honest. If I was going to give you any reason at all, look, Deanna Bennett had a great last fight against Alejandra Lara. She looked really good. That was her second fight in Bellator, but she did not make weight.
That's true.
And when you don't make weight, you just put it in your promoter's mind and your matchmaker's mind. I don't want to put you up here, because you pull that off on me again, I got problems. Yeah. So I really think that that's the reason. It has nothing to do with Justine. Justine's coming from the UFC. It's a quality fight. But I think it was because Deanna didn't make weight. We'll see what happens this time.
Yeah, but I mean, still put them a little bit closer to the main card. I mean, they're pretty far down there.
Okay, but let's be honest. I'm just going to go off of the list that they're in right now, because the fight that's above them is Gozali against Bobby King. That's a pretty good fight. Gozali being a young, talented lightweight, Bobby King being a veteran, a tough guy. A guy that's got a lot of good stand-up, trains with, Bang Ludwig. He's got a good ground game. He's tough on the ground as far as defensively. He can't get a lot on him. So that's that one's just one above him. The one above that is Jalen Bates, who I think is phenomenal. He's going to be a star of the future. Yeah. Against Chris Disconell, who's that tough as hell. So that's a good one. And then if you go below, it's got Jordan Newman. Jordan is a great wrestler. I believe he was either Division II or Division III NC2A champion, I believe. But great wrestler going against Cody Aber. A good fight. So I mean, there's a lot of good fights on the card. If you're going down the list, that's about where they should be. There's guys like Isaac Hokic, who is a wrestler from California and stuff. He's down way below and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're still not selling me, John. I think they should have been. I think they should have. Look, I'm okay with them being below Brennan Ward because Brennan's making his comeback. He's been in the Bellator before, and there's a little there's a storyline there. I'm okay with that, but I think she should have been above Jalen Bates. Now that's just my honest opinion. Jalen's still making a run. Deanna Bennett's been around for a while. She's also in the top 5 or I think she's in the top 5. So. And then Kish apparently was ranked before she left the UFC, but I mean, and her coming over as a debuter, it would have been nice to have them up a little bit higher up on the top. But that's just me. I'm really just stirring the pot right now, John.
Boy, you
are. I really am. I seem to be ruffling a lot of feathers these days. So, but it should. But I think honestly, I think that's going to end up being a good fight. You have Kish and you've got Bennett. Bennett's a stud. She's good on the feet. She's good on the ground. She loves to wrestle and she's pretty nasty on in her jiu-jitsu. So I'd like to see that fight happen.
I'm using
closer to the main card, huh?
I'm using a website that lets you view things from in the past, and I do not see her that around April last year when she was with the UFC. I don't see her ranked, but I could.
I didn't remember her being ranked in the top.
Yeah, someone had sent me saying, "Hey, how come this fight's not up there?" And it's Kish was ranked when she left the UFC, and
I didn't think
obviously
she was because she had lost
Bennett
him.
is. Pull up her record.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get her record here. And then I can just pull up when she last fought, actually, which was April 7th.
Yeah, she lost her last two. I doubt.
Yeah, I doubt. Yeah, I doubt she was ranked.
Because there's no way.
Oh, she lost to Tracy.
Cortez, yep.
Yeah, Tracy
In a
Cortez,
split.
who's
Yeah, in a
going out
split.
with. Come on, you were just with him.
Yeah, I
My
was just
God.
with him. When was
I mean, if she was
Brian
Pamela-
Ortega.
Ortega? There you go with Ortega.
if she was ranked, it had to have been like there was 2016 when she was last on a win streak. So
Got it.
may have been around
Maybe
then.
around then. Yeah.
But I'm
Okay.
looking. This is from February last year, and she is definitely not in that.
Got it.
25
Got it.
ranks. Okay.
Perfect. Before we continue on with our main show, we want to give you guys an opportunity to click down on our links down below. That link below will take you to our Weighing In Extras channel. We do a classic show, and it's a fun show that John and we have a lot of fun on, called Weighing Interjection. It's a short 8 to 12 minute long show. Here's a little taste of it.
So I'm gonna name off this or that. It
This
could be
or
anything, and you guys make your pick. No reason necessary. You guys ready?
Let's go.
All right. First one: Aljo or Covington,
Covington.
Ngannou or Tyson,
Tyson. Ah, look at you.
Under the bright lights or we talking about practice?
Under the bright lights, baby.
We talking about practice? What? What?
Mayweather or McGregor?
McGregor.
Pass. I'm not answering that shit.
McGregor.
Pass.
Karate Kid or Enter the Dragon?
Oh, Enter the Dragon.
Oh,
Enter the Dragon. Come on, not even close.
damn.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding
Enter
me?
Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon.
Street fight or pro wrestling?
No,
Street
God,
fight.
Street fight.
Is that what you said too, Josh?
Street fight, yeah.
Okay. Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
Logan Paul. Although I do like Jake Paul now, man. He's getting on my good side.
I'm going to go with Jake. I'm
There
going to
you
go with
go.
Jake.
There you
Only
go.
because Jake can really fight.
Logan can
Who the
fight.
fuck is that guy? Or I'm not surprised, mother effer.
I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
I'm not surprised.
Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar.
Bobby Lashley.
I knew
Bobby
you were going to
Lashley.
go Bobby
Get out of
Lashley.
here. Bobby's my boy, man.
So I
I'm not
go
going
Brock.
against my boy.
Yeah, Brock's
Bobby's
my boy. My boy's going to
Ninja-
beat your boy. Oh, someone
Ninja
else is making
Turtles
that up.
or X-Men?
Oh,
Oh,
X-Men. X-Men.
yeah. X-Men.
Elon Musk or Kanye West?
Elon
Oh,
Musk.
Elon Musk.
Bisping or DC?
DC.
DC.
Michael Bay or Quentin Tarantino?
Ooh.
Quentin
Tarantino.
Tarantino. Come
Yeah.
on, Pulp Fiction is a classic.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
DQ or no contest?
No contest.
Yeah, no contest. Yep, no contest.
And lastly, Cowboy
Cerrone.
Cerrone or Cowboy Oliveira?
Cerrone.
Oh, Cowboy Cerrone. You can't
Cerrone.
take the cowboy away from Cerrone.
No. I like Oliveira, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a Cowboy Cerrone guy.
Cerrone.
Fan.
All right, that's going to wrap up this or that. Let's get into
Like
this
that.
third topic.
Jamal Hill and Johnny Walker. Let's get into this fight. What do you think?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. Johnny Walker's got... I just don't know with him, man, because he's talented and he's long and he's tall. But so is Jamal Hill. And Jamal Hill,
He's
although
long,
he
he's
doesn't...
tall. That's what you're saying. He's tall, long, and lanky is what you're saying.
Well, I'm not going, lanky. At 205 pounds, no one's lanky.
All
But
right.
Jamal Hill's got power in his hands. The guy can swat. Now, he did get, the loss to Paul Craig, I know, who is Podcast Dave's favorite fighter, based upon somewhere that he lives. I don't know. It's Scotland.
Scotland.
But, he came back from that. He had a very impressive win against a tough guy in Jimmy Crute. Jamal Hill's the real deal as far as, you do not want to be in the stand-up with him. And Johnny Walker's more of a stand-up fighter. And I just look at, Johnny Walker's chin has been It's been dented a couple of times. He's taken some time off. He had a very good last fight. I take nothing away from him in that fight. It was a loss, but it was a very close fight. He could have gotten the win, against a tough guy in Thiago Santos. So Johnny Walker is fighting well. It's just one of those. I think that Jamal Hill is going to be able to touch that chin, and if he gets him in trouble, look out. Now, Johnny's way more explosive as far as doing the jumping, flying knees and all that stuff. But in his last 4 fights, he's only got 1 win.
Yeah.
And when you're in that position, that puts you in that, you start to worry about stuff. Jamal Hill, yeah, he got he got submitted by Craig, but came back with that 1 win. He's on a win. Johnny's not. I think that Jamal Hill's got that belief in himself back that, if he can just touch you, he can put you away. And so this is going to be a tough one for Johnny Walker.
Yeah, I think the speed of Jamal Hill is going to be a factor. If Johnny Walker starts jumping in, starts leaving his feet, starts doing crazy stuff, Jamal Hill's going to be able to get to that chin a little bit faster. When you leave yourself out of position and you...
Opportunities.
Opportunities present themselves, and that's very clear. I think Jamal Hill can be able to capitalize on that. Now, will Johnny Walker try to get this fight to the ground? What do you think?
He's not that guy that's got it's not that he can't find on the ground, but he doesn't have that base where you're going, man, this guy's got a great submission game. He's a huge ground and pounder. He doesn't have any of that. That's not who he is as a fighter. And so you look and you go, is he going to try to get it to the ground? Who has he gotten to the ground? Well, he's gotten guys to the ground with the flying knees where he's hit him and hurt him and put him down and stuff. And he had a big win against Misha Shirkinov that, it was impressive because Misha is a tough dude, and he's got a good ground game, and he was able to finish him. But I don't know. I just look at this and the power of Jamal Hill, even though he doesn't have that body that people think, creates power, the guy's got power in his hands. He can swat. And Johnny Walker's chin has been tested before, and he sticks it up in the air a lot. And when it goes up in the air, it's not a good thing.
This is true. I think it's going to be a fun fight, though. I think
it is.
I think Jamal Hill's going to end up on top, with the win. But it's going to be a fun fight. I think up until the finish, and I think there's going to be a finish. I think you're going to end up getting one of those finishes in this fight.
I think so too.
Jamie Pickett versus Kyle Dawkins. Can you scroll up there for me, Dave? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, Dawkins, him and his brother are both phenomenal fighters. Kyle is, stays tight with the offense on the feet, keeps his hands up tight. I mean, he's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter.
He's good everywhere. He's got a good ground game, and he's got his stand-up is solid. It's good. Jamie Pickett, much more explosive fighter, much more athletic, much faster. I think he's got probably better power in his hands with a one shot, but he's got his hands full with Dawkins. Dawkins is just that guy. He doesn't look the part. Walker's tough as hell, and he can fight everywhere. So
yeah. Parker Porter, Alan. I don't even know how you say his name. Bodat.
Say that again.
Bodat.
Boudot.
And then so Boudot, okay, and then you got Jim Miller. Look at the record on Jim Miller.
Yeah, well, this is Jim Miller's 38th UFC fight. He leads the pack because Andrei Arlovsky tied him last week with 37, which is super impressive when you think that Andrei left the UFC for how many years and then came back. And so 37 for Andrei Arlovsky. This will be number 38 for Jim Miller. So Andrei was tied for numero uno for exactly 1 week.
Who's going to fight longer?
Andrei.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's the heavyweight division. It's easier to fight longer.
Well, you're right. It is easier. It's more, common for a heavyweight fighter to go into their 40s and fight well, be able to compete. Because when you're talking about speed, and Jim Miller being a lightweight, speed is a factor that, he's not as fast as he used to be. He's always going to be tough as hell. He's got a good ground game. But if you take a look, Andre, I'm guessing 4-1, 5-1 in his last 5-6 fights.
Yeah.
You know, Jim Miller, a little bit different. I know he got a win in his last fight, but I know he got beat by Salicki. He got beat by Pichel. I don't know. I would say that in his last, let's say 5-6 fights, he's 2-4, something like that. So, they're just at different, areas as far as when you got wins, you can stay with what you're doing until you decide I'm not going to do it. When you got, all these losses coming in, you got to take a look and say, when is it time? And it's not that, Jim Miller's had a phenomenal career. It's been great for the UFC, but if he loses this fight, I don't know, when do you say enough's enough?
Yeah.
Tough
Yeah,
call.
because when you get to those lighter weight classes, the speed kills. And when you're having to deal with those fast, young fighters, athletic fighters, it's a little bit more difficult to deal with. You're getting hit a lot more, taking a lot more damage. In the heavyweight division, you could potentially get knocked out, but that doesn't matter whether you're old or not. You could potentially get knocked out in the heavyweight division at any moment. But they can also fight longer because they don't fight at a pace that the smaller fighters fight at. That's why I always feel like the smaller fighters are always the better fighters, which they are.
Well, they're not. No, so you're saying it wrong, which is common for you because, see, you were a lightweight. Let's just be honest. If you pick the heavyweight you were going to beat, ain't happening. So the better fighter is the heavyweight fighter because he can beat you. Now, I will give you this, for the most part, you're the more entertaining fighter. You got more technical skills. You do things, you do a lot more, and better. Just being honest.
Fighter.
So if Josh Thomson was going to fight Cain Velasquez,
you had to pick my friend, huh? You had to pick my friend.
I got to, man.
You had to pick my friend.
I'm not going to.
You had to pick my friend. What a jerk, man.
How many are you going to win?
Give me someone I don't like. Give me a heavyweight I don't like. Give me somebody that I don't know. Give me
DC.
I love DC. He pays me a lot of money on the golf course, man.
I know you love DC. That's why I'm picking him,
I love
dude.
it. I'm like, give me my money, man. He tried to leave the course early. He tried to leave on the 18th hole, so I couldn't get video of him paying me cash in hand. He tried to leave. He's like, oh, I gotta go, man. I gotta pick up my daughter. Go. I was like, he's like, here, I left the money on the golf cart. I left the money. Like, he's trying to get out of there. Oh, this guy, he's so janky, man. I love it. No, okay. Bottom line is, the lighter weights are just more skilled. And if we were to match, say, if I was their weight or they were my weight, I would win.
It does. No.
Yes.
Wait.
The better fighter is the one that has more skill and better.
If they were my weight, or if you were their weight, you wouldn't be doing things the same way you did as a lightweight.
John.
Just
I'm the better fighter.
Be honest. There's a reason. Okay, Josh, I'm going to go back in time.
Lighter guys are the better fighters.
Okay, there's a reason why the UFC started off as this spectacle with no weight classes, and quickly it became none of the lighter fighters wanted to fight in it. Why? Because the bigger guys were learning how to fight and learning what to do, and it became that size does matter. And so we came up with weight classes. At first, there was only 2 weight classes, heavyweight and what we called lightweight at 200 and under, okay? Look, weight matters. You know that. Quit lying.
Weight matters, yes. But, John, for years, she's been telling me size doesn't matter. And I'm going to believe her, okay?
Like a hamster, baby.
Oh, I love it. All right. Any other card? Like, I'm going to give out Benitez. They got moved to this card against David Onoma. So, look, I haven't seen
Mowgli.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mowgli in a while. I'm not sure if he's at AK. I haven't been to AK in a while either. But he obviously, we know he's got great kicks. He's got good Thai boxing. His jiu-jitsu has gotten a lot better since the last time I trained with him, and the last couple of times I've seen him training. His submission game has gotten a lot better. He's nasty on the neck with the guillotine. He's actually gotten a lot better with the leg locks as well. He's been working on a lot of those transitions. And so, I mean, look for him to not just keep this thing on the feet, but also mix it up. And his wrestling's gotten better. His takedown defense has gotten better. All around, his grappling aspect has gotten better. Now, fight IQ and fighting smart. As much as I love the guy, sometimes he doesn't do that. He's a dog, man. I'm just being honest. He's a dog. When we talk about guys being the junkyard dog or they're just a dog inside that cage, he's one of those guys that will just stand in front of you and bang. And I love watching him fight because he's that fighter. But at a certain time in your career, you got to say, hey, what's best for me in my career is getting the win. And so hopefully he he goes out there, gets the job done. You know, he's a friend of mine, so I want obviously rooting for him. So
yeah, I agree with you as far as he's a junkyard. I think you passed one that is a great fight. Okay. An interesting one in Joaquin Buckley against Al Hassan. I think that's a great fight. I think it's an interesting fight. Al Hassan, very fast, very explosive. Buckley, very fast, very explosive. They do it differently. Al Hassan came from a grappling background, judo and things like that. Really doesn't use it that much. Likes to go for the knockout. Well, he's got his guy to try to do it with in Buckley, who's got some great, spinning attacks, unbelievable control of his body as far as you watch the knockout of the year that he had. I can't remember the name. I can't say the name of his opponent, but it was in Abu Dhabi, and just amazing knockout. What's that?
Impa.
Yeah, see, I can't say it's Impa is all I know. I can't say
Kansangana.
It was Impa,
or something. Yeah,
but it's unbelievable. And so that's a great matchup. I think that's going to be as the fight goes on, the longer it goes, I go more towards Buckley. Buckley doesn't get that tired. He's got a lot of energy and a lot of cardio for a guy that carries a lot of muscle. They both carry a lot of muscle. Al Hassan, a lot more in his lower body, big legs, strong. But that's a great matchup. I look forward to watching that fight.
Buckley's not big for the weight. That's the thing. Like,
well, he's not at 185. Yeah, he's a tweener. He's got a huge chest.
Yeah.
Big chest on him and stuff. But I think he fights better at 185 than he fights at 170.
Got it. No, I agree with you. And I'm gonna go back and preface more on that spinning kick that he landed. To me, it's not just one of the best knockouts of the year. I think it was one of the best knockouts I've ever seen
of all time. Oh my God!
Time. It's got to be.
You got a guy holding your leg, and you're able to spin as he's holding your leg and get a knockout like that. I mean, because it just starched him.
Yeah.
As soon as it hit, over, done. Going down like a 2x4 falling. Just unbelievable that he was able to generate the power that he was and the speed in which he did it with. And just, this is where, training and everything. What's that?
Accuracy, John. The accuracy of it.
No shit.
Think about this. He was trying to hit something like this big.
Yeah.
By not looking while you're fully
and not having a base. He doesn't really have a base.
No base.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely just a great knockout. I think it's probably one of the best ever. All right. Well, that's going to conclude our UFC talk, our Bellator talk, our Eagle FC talk, and our PFL Challengers talk. So we have talked a lot about these fights. Let's get into some news. Though. Let's get into some news there, Podcast Dave.
All right, so let's get into this first story. I don't know if you guys, and we only have a couple of fun things for this for today because there's not a whole lot of news right now. A lot of fight cards, but not a lot of news. So Aljo tweets out this picture, and he's sporting the Dagestani beard, and he quotes, "Trying the Dagestani beard, now I eat everybody, smash everyone, Aljabib Stermaev."
Stermaev. I love it. Hey, that's awesome. Okay, look, you can say a lot of things. That is, I like the I like the fun of it. I like everything about it. He's trying to, pull in the aura of the Dagestans and their ability to win fights because he's got a tough one coming up. But I think it's great. I'm not saying that I think the beard looks great, but I like the attempt.
I hope it helps his wrestling.
That's why he's a good wrestler. You can't say he's not a good wrestler.
No, I can say he's going to need a little bit better wrestling though
he's going to
win this
solid
fight.
Wrestling. Yes.
Yeah, he's going to need to get after it. Look, I've said a lot of things about Aljo, but look, I like guys that can make fun of themselves, can do things like this.
Have fun. Yep.
He's silenced. I think in the beginning it was hard for him to deal with all the negative talk.
When you're not used to it, it's a bitch.
And I think the way he's helped silence all the negative talk is that he just continued to be a free spirit. Just say whatever he wants. Stay on social media. Don't allow these people to shut you down and cancel you, and don't allow them to make you feel like you're less than what you are. even if he wasn't, even if he didn't win the championship the way that he had won it, he's still a good fighter. Still a phenomenal fighter. That's what people don't understand. Like people don't understand that. He's still a damn good fighter, and I've given him a lot of flack on here because of the whole situation. But overall, and it should be said, is that he's phenomenal. He's good on the feet. He's good on the ground. He's still young. He's got a lot of room to grow. And not just as a fighter, but as a person. And I think he's just going to continue to get better with a little bit of age, and his fight IQ will start to grow as well. And we're going to see, man. We're going to see exactly how this fight ends up. But, wishing him the best. This is hilarious, though, by the way, John.
Oh, it's good.
This is actually, especially the way he did the name.
I know, that's the best part. Because
Aljamain.
He's got the smash everyone and then Aljamain.
Aljamain.
That's cool.
It's great. All right, next.
All right, we're going to wrap up on this one. After the fights this past weekend, Tai Tuivasa apparently got Dana White to do a Shoey, and I have the video for you guys right here.
All right, so let's clarify this. It's not really a Shoey.
That is like not a Shoey.
It's a device that looks like a shoe. It's like shotgunning a beer, like John was talking. We were talking about this a little bit before the show came on. And it's basically making sure that the whatever the mouth spigot thing is, you can see how nervous Dana is.
The giant
Dana's
nipple.
Dana's like, what
Dana
the hell
is sticking a
right
giant nipple in his mouth and shotgunning a beer.
I mean, hey, you know what though? As
Good
a
for him.
promoter,
Hey,
I think this is great. You're building a rapport with your athletes.
he has got a guy in Tuivasa that's got personality.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Tuivasa registers with the fans because he's real. He's real. A guy that'll sit there and walk out of the cage over to you at the rail, take your shoe, have a beer poured in it, and drink that sumbitch. That's someone, for whatever reason, people fall in love with, and that's great. He's got great personality. He's fun. He's about, just being who he is. And so I thought, watching Dana try to do this thing, it's great. It's the way a promoter should be.
Yeah, I mean, like everything in moderation. He's not out there, getting drunk, but he's out there just showing the fighters that he supports them and whatever it is that they're trying to build in terms of fan base. Yep. I think it was a smart move on Dana's part. Tuivasa's a stud. He's energetic. He's fun. He brings good stuff to the mic. He has a following. He's got a whole country. He's got a whole country behind him. And so you need to make sure that you're always kind of patting those guys on the back and making sure that they understand that you support them as a promoter. I think this is a good move on Dana's part. It's very well played, though. It's a device that looks like a shoe. It's not. It looks like a shoe, but it's not a real shoe. And but it's fun. I think it's good. So overall, I mean, really, what's next for Tuivasa?
Hey, look, he's in that position. He's going to be in the top 5. All right, has to be.
Yeah,
he's in the top 5, and so you're looking at him. I'm telling you, this is I look at it. I think that Stipe, obviously, I think Ngannou he's sitting out. Okay,
yeah.
So the champ is sitting out. So we've got Stipe, we've got Cyril Gane, we've got John Jones, who still has not fight at heavyweight, and we've got Tai Tuivasa. Those are your guys at the top right now. And so if you're Dana and you're looking at it, I would try to be putting John Jones and Stipe together, and I would be trying to put Tai Tuivasa and Cyril Gane together. I'm not saying it's a great matchup for him.
Not a good idea for Tai.
But that's all you can do. Okay.
Dave, pull up the rankings. Who else is next? Like who not next, but who else is in that mix?
Go ahead. Tai just jumped to 3.
Oh, he's number 3.
Oh, you know what? I would like to see Volkov, the winner of Volkov and Aspinall fight Tai.
Okay, and what does that do for Tai?
It keeps him from getting beat. That's what it does, John. John, listen to me. It keeps him from getting beat by Cyril Gane. That's what it does.
Possible.
I mean, Curtis Blades. Who's Curtis Blades fighting? He's got a fight coming up.
He's fighting Dawkins.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Dawkins.
Curtis Blades fighting Dawkins. That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. The word Dawkins not even on here. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry.
Number 8.
There he is. Number 8. Yep. You got Rosenstruck. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. They didn't already fight, did they?
I
I don't recall Ty. Did Ty already fight?
But again,
Rosenstruck?
okay, if you're Ty, look at where Rosenstruck is at.
All right, John. Just
got to move yourself forward, baby.
Sirgon's not the guy.
Got to move yourself forward.
He didn't fight Rosenstruck.
Yeah, look at Tai Tuivasa in that picture. He looking thick. He looking thick, buddy. Woo! And then a baby also in that picture. He's a baby.
It's fun.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that's gonna wrap up our show and this conversation. And John, once again, I was always right. Yeah.
How did we start this show off?
Josh apologizing for being wrong.
Excuse me, it wasn't how did we? How did you start this show off?
Josh apologizing for being wrong. But hey,
okay.
You gotta understand. Real men admit their faults, and I was wrong, and I said I apologize for it, okay? But hey, Audie, hit me up, bro. DM me too.
DM me.
All right. We do have a quick announcement before we do wrap up the show.
Oh, let's hear it.
Let's go. I'm excited for this because I saw this the other day on our YouTube channel.
Hey, we've got more than t-shirts.
So we are launching weighinginpodcast.com where you guys can now pick up t-shirts and more. So there is new apparel on there, and from today until the end of February, we're running introductory pricing, and it will go up in March. So you guys jump on it now while it's there.
Yeah, so there's hoodies, there's crew necks, which I'm not a big
I got to
fan
get myself
of
a coffee cup.
Yeah, there's a coffee.
But it's got to be this
cups.
big.
It's got to be this big. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Let's see what else has got on there. You got the crew neck, the gray sweaters, the maroon sweaters. You got our beast mode, our new beast mode design that's up on a lot of these. You got a maroon. I like the maroon one. I'm big.
Good. I'm glad you like the maroon. You see that black one? That's perfect.
Yeah, John. I've got to tell you, man. I'm every time I see our old logo, I really like it.
I love our old logo.
Yeah, I love it.
Obviously, but with me, I'm color phobic.
Yeah, it's black and white.
I just like
or
black.
Slight gray every once in a while. Are you sure you don't want the white one? I'll get you a white one, John.
Yeah, the white one's good. But I get it dirty. I'll screw it up.
Is that a thermal? There's a long sleeve in there as well, premium long sleeve tees. So there's a long sleeve tee there. Look, a lot of these the premium tees are very nice too. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with that style. But they do offer like in a tri-blend or a poly cotton. Good fits. They all come from a really good company that I used to use for my clothing line as well. So you guys, I'm sure majority of you guys will like the fits on these as well. Scroll down a little bit. Is there any more?
That's it for that's it until March at least.
So hoodies are available, crew neck sweaters are available, long sleeves are available, coffee cup available as well. Obviously all the t-shirts are available. We try to look into some hats as well, but then we didn't really care for the hats that they had on the market, so we're going to leave it the way it is for right now. But hey, the discounted prices are up only until March is what Dave was saying. So the pricing will go up after March. So pick up whatever you guys can during that time. And we appreciate you guys for supporting us. Continue to support us. It's at I was going to say It's at weighinginpodcast.com.
You almost got DM'd right there.
I almost got DM'd right there. Yeah. weighinginpodcast.com. Check it out. There's no promo code, but the pricing is available for you guys. So you won't need one until March. So hook that up, look it up. Hey, and like I've always said this, you guys, when you guys purchase any of this apparel,
take a picture and send it to us.
Take a picture and send it to us, man. We really would like to share that out to people and let everyone know that people are supporting us. We appreciate you guys for supporting us.
And the uglier you are, the better.
Yeah, John just needs to have people to relate with.
Exactly.
You guys might want to just get an extra shirt for your Sharpay. If you guys have one, you guys can take that picture as well. Put it up next to John. Perfect.
Nothing wrong with a wrinkle.
All right, maybe that wasn't as funny as I thought. All right, so this is Dragging On. John, take us off there, buddy.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see ya.